Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Welcome, everybody, to Game Over Pro Wrestling for Money in the Bank 2023. What an event it was. My name is Fouad Suleiman, and I am joined by two special guests from different locations. I'm from Toronto here. We have Arune Singh live from, I presume, Los Angeles. And we have
correct.
Peter Primetime Klein live from Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, that's the thing. And we have a new sponsor here. Logan Paul just paid me $250,000 just for that spot right there because SCPN's on a wave, guys. Welcome. What an event, guys. I think that was a fun premium live event. I'm going to say pay-per-view, but I liked it a lot. I think it was good in the sense that there were so many swerves and things I did not expect. And that's something that, like, the formulaic kind of WWE, doesn't like to do. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll say there was no disappointing match. And even if some of the matches didn't have the highest of highs, or it was a bit of a roller coaster, nothing was disappointing. I'll be honest, I think I take a very positive view towards the PLVs. I can't remember the last time they had one that I walked away from saying, why did I put those hours into it? I've always been satisfied, even though WrestleMania remains exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad this one wasn't like 17 hours. Like, you had to 2 days. I mean, we had you on for the second day of WrestleMania, and I'm like, I was glad it was 2 days because I remember it was like you literally heard the birds chirping when that thing was finished. Like, that's how long it was. We're gonna get into everything here. We're gonna start with the main event, but first, gotta shout out our sponsors, Sports Interaction. Get in on the action and make your bet with Sports Interaction. Every hit, every shot, every goal, every ladder match and chair shot, apparently, from all your favorite teams and players to professional wrestlers like Roman Reigns taking the L. I mean, you can't really bet on wrestling, but whatever. With competitive odds, the best live and play, and more ways than ever to get into the game, like Minute Madness, our exclusive game with so many opportunities to win by the minute. Download the app in Ontario, use the QR code you see at the bottom of the screen, or head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN to get started. 90 plus, please play responsibly. So, Roman Reigns got pinned for the first time since before COVID-19 happened.
Man.
Fuad, I think you just said, please lay responsibly, and I was going to say, I think Roman Reigns did lay responsibly and take that pin.
He did. I mean, maybe I thought he was just gonna go off board and be like, no. He's gonna pull a Hogan and be like, you are not pinning me.
I will say, I am a staunch Bloodline fan. I was just at a librarian conference. I'm not a librarian, but at a comic book publisher for a week in Chicago, and the only workout clothes I brought were my multitude of We the Ones shirts. I think I have 6 tank tops for We the Ones. I'm looking forward to the real ones, tank tops, hopefully. And I love the Bloodline. And when Roman hit the ref, I laughed because the ref really sold the nut shot.
I thought he was hurt. I thought he was actually hurt.
He legit squealed, and honestly, more power to him. He's my favorite ref now. But I was rolling my eyes and was like, not again. And commentary acknowledged his uncanny luck in these situations. Yeah. And that's when I started having some hope that maybe Reigns and Sikoa weren't going to win like this, and I was incredibly surprised, and also surprised at how emotionally cathartic the finish was. Yes. And I do think this is the canary in the coal mine for things to come. But Peter, I keep talking so much, I want to let you in on this.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying a bunch of points that I agree with. I think, for one, the crowd's pop when the Usos kicked out, when they were stacked on top of each other.
Yes.
At that point, the match just reached a whole new level. But no, like, this was great. I was anticipating a number of different things coming into this. Exactly none of them were Roman Reigns being pinned. I thought we were going to get Solo taking the pin, and then that starts like a "you're not good enough," blah 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 blah, or the Usos losing because Roman Reigns, LOL, or anything like that. But this was great, and I'm with Arune. I have loved the Bloodline storyline so far. I think if pro wrestling ever qualified for an Emmy, this would be the thing to do it. It's been storytelling just like the whole time, and now I legitimately can't wait for Friday. Not just because it's the first day of the Stampede out here, and shout out Dungeon Wrestling, who we're repping on the shirt today, but because of SmackDown, I can't wait to see where they go from here now. And you talk about like creating stars. I think tonight was about creating stars. In the main event, the Usos, if possible, they have now reached another level of stardom coming out of this show tonight, Fouad.
They're massive.
Yeah.
They're massive. They're massive now. And, like, of course, you know, main event Jay is kind of the star of the show. Like, I mean, oftentimes with twins, there is one that always kind of stands out in sports. I mean, it wasn't Henrik better than Daniel Sedin. I probably. But, you know, yeah, with that match, I love how he took the pin. Like, he actually took the pin. I thought there would be some sort of schmoz where there'd be like 17 different interferences and like Rikishi would come out or like just something would happen. But to your point about the long-term storytelling, this might be the most long-term story they've told since like the Kane and the Undertaker. Like that's how long this one has been going.
I don't know. I'm not showing my age here, but I remember when we were waiting for Sting and the Rep to come down from the rafters, right? And to speak in WCW during the NWO era. So like the thing is, once Sting came down, we can debate the merits of WCW, but it was less exciting. But somehow the Bloodline story is better than it was 3 years ago, and I do think there's an attention to detail. I think there's two moments that stood out to me. Solo at the beginning, reluctantly tagging with Reigns, and at the end when Jimmy seemed to want to go check on Roman, and Jay's like, "Nah, dude, let him be." I think those are interesting nuances, and it may be calls that made in the moment that may not pay off for anything, but it keeps you guessing. Anyone can super kick anybody at this point because everyone has the motivation, the nuance, and like I'll be honest with you, I think there's I'm not sure you guys know, I feel like it has to be Jey Uso to take the title from Roman at this point. No one else feels right.
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, Cody, as much as I like that match and like I loved him getting that moment, like he's deserving of those titles for sure. But like to me, like I was like, it just doesn't, like, to make this story, because this story's been such a long epic, you have to end it within the family, right? Like you can't, like, it thinks somebody external to take the titles, or God forbid The Rock. I mean, I love The Rock, but God forbid The Rock. You got to put it on Jey Uso. You know, he's, you know, relatively young as far as wrestlers go. He's every bit as talented, I think, as Roman Reigns. Honestly, as a singles competitor, as a tag competitor, like both guys are every bit as talented, I think, as Roman or anybody, any main event player in WWE. Great in the mic, great acting, great in the ring. Like, I think that's where this is going for WrestleMania. Like, whether or not, I feel like I've heard people talk that we'd have an Uso in every corner fatal four-way match for the title at SummerSlam. That would be money in the bank, literally money in the bank for WWE. But what say you, Peter? What do you think is going to be? What do you think will be the result of this match, the next pay-per-view, SummerSlam?
Coming out of this one, I do think one of the Usos has to go for the title now, and I kind of thought coming in, that Solo was going to be the one. But I do think that this one needs to go to one of the Usos for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Solo just got here. You know, let's give Solo a chance. He just got here. Like, the Usos, these guys have been around since, like, 2009, 2008. I still remember when they came in and they had the face paint. You know, they had the paint, the tribal paint, and they did the haka coming to the ring. I mean, that was freaking cool. I think they should bring that back. But I never thought that they'd become huge stars like this, which is pretty awesome.
I believe, if I remember history correctly, Jey Uso was the first one to pin Roman Reigns in WWE as well. So I think that if I'm remembering correctly, I'm sure someone will correct us. I wonder if Steve has a knowledge of wrestling like he does of hockey, but I do believe Jey was the first one to pin Roman. And I think if that's the case, there's a really good story to tell. I think Jey versus Roman has to be. And whatever happens, Jey still got the end to end the non-pinning streak run, which is quite the accomplishment. And I think allows now for Roman to be pinned in other situations, tag team matches, whatever it may be. And now you're not waiting for one person to do all that stuff. I will say, y'all are making me think, if Jey takes the title sooner, is there a version where Jey versus Cody for the title is in the program?
Yeah, I think they definitely want that I think as soon as they signed Cody, they wanted to put the titles on. But fitting him in the Bloodline universe that was just shit hot since last year, they couldn't, I guess, and I understood why they made Roman win. They just couldn't shoehorn him in there. But I like what you're thinking there. I think they might have that. Cody's definitely coming back to the main event titles, whether it's the World Heavyweight Championship or the Undisputed Championship, which apparently now is 3 belts. That's blew my mind. But
So like I say, I love it. It's very boxing, very real combat sports. Why I love it is Roman doesn't utilize the titles; they're just on Paul Heyman, and so I do really dig it as a way to elevate Roman. And now kind of wish Don could carry around Rhea's belt because I feel like there'd be endless jokes. But it would be kind of great to have him as like the wisdom in Rhea Ripley's corner.
I love that.
That's awesome. So yeah, I think we got good on that match. I mean, definitely not the end of that story. I think we're just getting started there. And, you know, it was Cole was part of it, so it was okay. But let's shift to the titular match of the event, the first titular match, men's Money in the Bank, which I think was awesome. They hit it out of the park. All the competitors in the ring. I love how most of them, aside from Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm pretty sure none of them had ever won a world championship. And a lot of them were kind of newer guys, including Logan Paul. You know, I thought everyone in that match was stunned, honestly. And shout out, the crowd was insane for the whole thing. Completely elevated the match. And we got a swerve technically because everyone and their mother kind of thought LA Knight was going to win because he is on some sort of Andy O'Brien, even like Roxy Austin type overness. But it decided to go with Damian Priest. Now, there were people thinking that, you know, the returning evil Vince McMahon was going to look Logan Paul to win, but thank God he didn't. But I think we got a good compromise with Damian Priest getting it as much as I wanted LA Knight to get it. Yeah. What say you guys?
I was going to say, I enjoy LA Knight. I enjoyed him in his NXT days. Seeing a little bit of Drake work on, pretend to be an expert on it. I think he's doing an incredible job over the last all the injuries he's done building a very sympathetic character and an arc you want to root for. It kind of reminds me, it's different. It reminds you of like DDP in the WCW days where he was a guy building the journey. He's like, I really want to live some life to get here. And I think the challenge always is if you give it to LA Knight, it feels like he has to win when he cashes in because he keeps everyone saying what they want. And it's, I have a problem with Rollins, to be honest with you. I kind of voted Rollins down, but we'll save that for another segment. I'm into it, but I do think, like you said, Damian Priest has earned it. I think NXT in the main roster, the Bad Bunny stuff. And if we're jamming about this, I was convinced Finn Balor was going to win, and then they catch on right away and be the guy.
Oh yeah.
And I think kept talking about like then he becomes like the Prince character in NXT again, and like he's just a killer. Left the battle wearing the shirt, but I think Damian Priest opens up a lot of opportunities with the Judgment. They don't get too far ahead of that. Just say everybody's match seemed like killer. I think only Shinsuke was the one person I didn't believe winning it, and everybody came out great. And shout out to Logan Paul who seemingly doing this match to put other people over, and did a fantastic job with that. Knew his role. And I couldn't tell if everybody's feet landed where they wanted to, and him and Ricochet went off the ladder. But that was a brutal spot, Peter. What do you think?
That table spot was nasty.
Yeah, that table spot was violent. And looked like
that table spot though was nasty. I'm telling you, like I like. It looked like real injury. Like a real injury was happening. Like I was watching with my girlfriend who knows nothing about wrestling. She's like, "Did they both die? Did they get hurt?" I'm like, honestly, maybe.
One of the crazy things about Logan Paul is if you don't know who he is, he just looks and acts like a wrestler. You know, like nothing. It's just he's so natural in the ring. It's kind of nuts how good he is. And also look, that whole group of people was incredible. There were multiple times they picked me out. I thought Butch at one point was going to take it. It was LA. They made us believe, but I was not disappointed when Damian Priest won. What often happens with Money in the Bank is you don't have multiple people you want to have win, or like there are people who won Money in the Bank before have been champions, so it feels like I adore Sheamus. He's awesome. I remember him winning. I want to say Money in the Bank, it was just like you're like okay, it's like Randy Orton money. You're like sure, I love Orton, but you're like it's happened. This all felt fresh. Everybody's new. Yeah. There was no one bad to win this, but they did choose I think a legitimately good number 2 option, and that's what Logan Paul did for the match. He gave you kind of like an anyone but Logan Paul sense of everybody else, and it just him being there made everybody else more acceptable winner, and that's the really smart booking and psychology that didn't appreciate who he's at.
Yeah, no, I like how they're making Logan Paul. Like the fact that like he's obviously outside the ring, don't know much about him, but like let's keep all the weird stuff aside from him. But as a wrestler, he has a wrestling mind because he's not coming in saying like Hogan in WCW saying I need everything. I'm the biggest star in the world. You got to put all these titles. No, and I like that he actually has a mind for the business and understands that you're not here all the time. You can't have Money in the Bank, you can't have the title, but you're amazing at putting people over and bringing eyeballs to the product. What do you think is gonna happen to Arune? Where do you think we go from here? Because I think another thing, a lot of fans are angry about LA Knight losing. People have their favorite, but I think that a SummerSlam program with LA Knight and Logan Paul might be better than LA Knight actually having the briefcase because the Judgment Day gets that briefcase that keeps legitimizing them. But I think LA Knight and Logan Paul, their interactions have been absolutely hilarious. There's just so much material to draw upon for both of them, and I think you get a really really fun program. I think it'll elevate LA Knight more maybe than the briefcase would.
Yeah, I think there's 2 interesting topics there, and I'll start with LA Knight. I think the win for him is that it is undeniable that he is, like you said, white hot right now. And, he friends of mine from the Cheap Heat podcast. He did an interview with them. And I think his quote was, "I might not be everyone's got to drink up."
Yeah.
Like it's that he's right. Like you can say he's too much like The Rock or Steve Austin. It's irrelevant because it's working. And you're like, the Let Me Talk to You is catchy. Yeah, it's catchy. And guess what? It's catchy for crowds. They made a ton of noise. They're making it in the UK. They're making it in the US. They're making it probably in Canada up there. He is over, and I think that means SummerSlam he's going to get a prime spot. And Logan, you could do worse than Logan Paul. The books look great. I don't think LA Knight needs a belt right now. He's bigger than what any title could do for him, whatever any briefcase could do for him. So as long as they keep managing that, keep having interesting feuds, he's in a great place. In terms of the Judgment Day, I'll just say I cannot believe it's working as well as it is. Collectively, I like all four people. I just never thought it worked as well. It feels like a group of friends who will beat you out every Monday night, and that's kind of fun. That's really all it is. Like there's no like the Judgment Day name is almost like ironic. There's no shared mission really.
No,
crap out of people and have a good time and win things.
There's nothing in common, and that's the thing. Like a lot of factions, they have something that binds them together. Obviously, the Bloodline. You see the LWO, Latin World Order. There is something that the NWO have guys from WWE, WWF. But like these guys, I mean, they were put together by Edge as a smorgasbord of young people. But like they are just so good together that you can tell that they are all genuinely good friends, and that comes across the screen. And yeah, like that's absolutely great match. What about Ricochet jumping through? That guy terrifies me every time he's in a ring. Like how did he even fit through the hole of that ladder? That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think everyone lost mind because that's not the movie you expect. The precision he has is amazing. For anybody who's only met Ricochet in the main roster, there's and I know Velveteen Dream is persona non grata for many reasons. Yeah. But there's a moment in NXT where Ricochet does a jump out of the ring onto the entrance ramp and lands right in front of Velveteen Dream, and it's just like no hesitation, like no stumbling. It's just like, oh shit, this dude can do anything, and he is a real life superhero. And I think what they've finally done is lean into that. They're not trying to make him a promo, just like he's actually so AEW in that way, which is like just don't go in the ring and become a fan. And I think he's the kind of guy who definitely should be having tag team titles, a card title. I think he is the kind of guy you could have go to NXT and as a champion. I think once Roman drops that, whatever the title is, the undisputed, universal, whatever. I think there's more choices than having a guy like that run with a belt even for a short reign. Like if he was, I guess he is on Raw. Like I'd love to see him with that title because I don't want a long Seth Rollins reign because I don't want every title to have a long reign. So I think Ricochet again distinguished himself in an amazing way. He's just he's a living special effect.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I've been saying to some friends like this guy, like Ricochet, if he had the promo, like he would be the biggest star on planet Earth. Like, and I know like holding him back from being that megastar, but he's already in my mind just an amazing person to watch. Like you can sit anybody down who doesn't watch wrestling and say, look at this guy, and they'll be like, what the hell is that? Like he's one of those guys you want as an ambassador of your product because like anybody watching will be like, I need to see more of this. What in the hell is this guy doing? I thought wrestling was just guys in tights rolling around. This guy is a real life special effect, and like you're like, how does he do that?
I remember 2007 when I was living in New York. I went to an ROH, my first ROH show, and it was one of the main events was Bryan Danielson versus Morishima, and Morishima looked like just with the kind of tights that I don't look like. He looked like a giant angry baby, and I'm like, who's this Bryan Danielson guy with his crappy maroon trunks? And then suddenly they went, you're like, oh, this is the greatest thing. I saw Steven Jericho, saw the No Remorse Corps, saw Roddy Strong, all these people. I'm just like, oh, if I just sit here and let myself go, these guys can take me on story. So like, there's that kind of wrestler, and I think there is the Roman Reigns character wrestler. Not that Roman can't do both, but I do think there is. I think Ricochet occupies a special spot. He can make you a fan of wrestling in today's TikTok world. He's the kind of guy you could, like you said, you can put in a 20-second clip. You'd be like, that's what wrestling is. I mean, think about how much you value. 2 pay-per-views with Logan Paul in a row. They've used Ricochet to make Logan Paul look good. And if the past is any indication, using Damian Priest as an example, Bad Bunny, that may portend or Sami Zayn with Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. There's always a celebrity. Celebrity tie-in. I love it. Everybody needs they need to get one celebrity for every WWE superstar.
Honestly, I don't know the game, but it sounds like when you get to work with a celebrity, it means they trust you, right? Yeah. So if they trust Ricochet that much, I got to imagine one day he has a better U.S. title, Intercontinental title, World title run coming to him. And I would not be surprised that if Braun Strowman was injured, if Ricochet wouldn't potentially be a tag champ sooner or later. It feels like the kind of thing that him and Braun easily could win and would be super over.
I didn't even know he was injured. Like I actually thought about this. I'm like, where is Braun Strowman? Like I normally like he's always in something, but I was like, where? I forgot that he was injured. I was like, where is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the next match we had actually had a fantastic swerve that like never saw coming. Like Shayna Baszler turning on Ronda Rousey and allowing Alexa Bliss and Raquel Rodriguez to get the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles. That was one of those ones that like didn't have any seeds planted, and you're just like, what? Like I love that.
shout out to Ronda Rousey with her Dragon Ball gear. She had the Majin Buu M on her head, and she had the same Warrior trunks and gear. I was like, can't just make me go like Ronda Rousey like that? That's not fair. But yeah, yeah, it is. Liv, and we'll talk about later. Women's match. Liv Morgan, as Wade Barrett said, they were best Spice Girls gear fit, and then like Raquel Rodriguez. Again, they're a team that's super over. My only complaint is I kind of wish more tag teams to matching gear names and like more combo moves. Like give me the good old Hart Foundation days, right? Like Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart, and sure the British Bulldog was different, but give me a bit more of that. It's that's the kind of stuff that I hope happens now that it seems like these two are a permanent team. I wonder, there's been these rumors that Ronda Rousey wants to, start a family and, get pregnant, and maybe she had a short timeline, and so now you have to do a few with friends in the elevator. I will just say again, kind of like whatever you may think about Ronda Rousey's views, and I certainly disagree with many of them. She came back, and all she's done is put people over. And
another one of those big
gotta respect that.
Yeah, very humble. Like a lot of humility. Like again, like say like another big star that is a crossover star doesn't have to work in these tag team matches. Doesn't have to work as much as she does on SmackDown and Raw. But I'm excited to see what they do with Shayna Baszler and Ronda, because I guess maybe they're trying to make Shayna like the new proxy Ronda, because Shayna is just as terrifying as Ronda Rousey. Like Shayna Baszler is, I was saying that like she could kill anybody on the roster, anybody. She like legit shoot fight anybody. What I think they're gonna play is I wrote it down. I'm like, there is no way they're not gonna do a fight pit match at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. They're definitely going fight pit. They're bringing back Daniel Cormier to be the ref. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they'll just get somebody else. I don't know. But something's happened. Like they gotta do a fight pit with these two. That's what it's made for. That's made for ex-UFC stars to fight in fight pit.
I think that, if anybody hasn't watched Shayna Baszler on NXT, it's truly the best version of her. I'm also a big mark for the black and gold era of NXT. I think it's my favorite version of wrestling ever. Go see the Undisputed Era compared to what any of those guys are doing right now. But it is. I remember Shayna and Kyrie Sane had a feud, and Kyrie did the whole pirate gimmick. And Shayna had these promos where she's like, "You think you're a pirate? Like you're insane." And like she did this thing where she made fun of the gimmick but didn't undermine the wrestler. Yeah. And it's what Shayna can do. The way she dresses and talks, she just sounds like a real person. Yeah. And that is her strength. And I feel like this is interesting because you were talking about Ricochet. I think Shayna just being a killer is all you need to make it work. You don't need a deeper character. And that sounds like so little because Ricochet is just like high flyer against a lot of people, not enough, or it's missing just a little bit. Just let Shayna go on the mic, talk about how she feels, and like armbar you to death or egg block you to death, or for the clips, whatever she does. And like it is, she will get over it. I think she has a different look than any of the wrestlers. I want to say she's mixed race. And she is, she just feels different aesthetically in the ring than everyone else. And I hope this means we get more Shayna Baszler as a serious threat, because her and Asuka really going at it would be insane. Get her over some on a Raw, and her and Rhea going at it would be insane. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to see after she presumably defeats Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. That would be, and I really like where they're going with her for sure. Like I love the idea of just having like kind of like a final boss, just killer monster. Like, and there's so many different match combinations she could go with. If you elevate her to the main event, like Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, like there's so much they can do with that women's division, and the women's division is unbelievably popping right now. Just talent upon talent upon talent. It's great to see. Like it's like you forget about people. You're like, oh, Zelina Vega's jumping off a ladder. We'll get to that. But yeah. So next match we had was Gunta, the Ring General. Gunta dominates our friend Matt Riddle, who honestly I don't know. I just don't get Riddle. Like I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he's a great guy. I've never got him. Like, I've never been like I get this character. It's just kind of too goofy for me. I don't know.
But we've been legal in Canada longer than in the US. Like you should have got it right now. But I think my favorite fun fact about Matt Riddle, if I'm just giving radio interviews, that he's like the one guy who grows the kind of weed, grows like Randy Orton's favorite weed in town. They originally wanted. I feel like I've read this in interviews, and like it is Matt Riddle. Can I tell you what I think the problem is? The trunks have become too small and it's distracting in the ring. Yeah. And it's not because we can't stare at half naked and we do all the time. I remarked to my wife, look how shredded Finn Balor is when we go run 50 miles and eat no carbs for a year. Yeah, no. But like, there's just something so distracting, and I think that, along with the no shoes, along with the general bro vibe, is like a hat on a hat. And it's all like it's too much. And I think, again, I'm using Ricochet as an example of their control for this. I think Riddle is the example of having too many characters, too many things. And you're like, if you could just pull it back one way, like when he was Randy Orton Superfan, and that was fun. That was legitimately funny with Big Bro. But yeah, man, I think he's a perfectly fine professional wrestler. I don't think there's anything I dislike about him. It's just I was at the Raw here in LA when he came back, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy for him, but like, okay, that's our return on the Raw for Mania. Like,
After Mania was, we should have done. I should have called you back and done a game over that. And that was after one of the best WrestleManias of all time. They pulled out like one of the worst Raws. Like Vince McMahon with his little twirly mustache came in and just like, oh, God damn it, pal. We gotta just win everything, pal. It's too good, too engaging, pal. Come on.
That's remarkably good. I will tell you that I was actually the Raw felt disjointed being in the crowd, and I was not bummed out till they spiked the main event because. Basically, I was like, oh, well, you know what? We're getting Brock and Cody against the Bloodline. That's awesome.
That's something.
And yeah, that was like, give me a match before he turns on him. And we didn't get that. And you could feel the entire crowd deflate.
Yeah.
Like we were, and even on the, like, we understood Roman retaining, we understood all this. And you lost all hope. But look, we're back in place.
Yeah, I think momentum's back. Yeah, like that ruined the momentum for like a couple months, I think. Like, I think the momentum was like the shows were kind of like that one show kind of like derailed a bit of the excitement. But this pay-per-view, I think this one did a lot to bring people back and really create hype for SummerSlam. So, Gunther wins the match. Obviously, he's a freak of nature. I love everything him and Imperium do. So wait, why is he not the ring general? He's a ring general. Is that German or is that like?
I don't know. I think he kind of has his own way. I honestly, I think they're Austrian. People talk to. Yeah, he interviewed Imperium about about some of the maybe unintended aesthetic of Imperium and how they relate to other Eastern European groups. Despite there being no indication that he was following to that. It's just, look, Imperium is one of those things that shouldn't work as well as it does, but Rudy Kaiser is the wrestling equivalent of a sleeper build. You know, those sleeper builds that doesn't take time. But whatever, he's like the sleeper skill wrestler. Like, you forget how good he is. So he does everything right. Giovanni Vinci's really good, and I love again Giovanni Vinci not talking. Yeah. One day he's going to talk, and we're all going to talk. I think the only criticism is I don't want all these champions having record-setting runs. Like, I need a men's single champion to lose.
They overacted on that because they used to just pass around the belt like a rat rib joint. Like, it was just you get it. Like who the hell is a champion now? It's just like they would scramble it up. And now I kind of see where you're going with it. Like, I do hope that they maybe get a bit of a change there, and maybe the guy who returned tonight, Drew McIntyre, who like by all accounts was out the door. I mean, he had like creative differences with WWE apparently, and everyone was expecting that Drew Galloway would show up in AEW, which I don't think would have been terrible. But he came back, big pop, big return, and I think it's going to be a fantastic match. And who knows, maybe they promised that they would put the belt on him to keep him happy.
I also think, like, I mean, how emphatically commentary made point saying there were rumors about his career's demise. Yeah. WWE. Like, that was as much as you could say. We paid him his bag. Yeah, and he's here for a bit. Like, I will say this. I'm gonna tell a quick Drew McIntyre story. So last year, about a year ago today, stuck in the airport in Nashville. So I got there 6 p.m. and wasn't getting a flight up until 6 a.m. the next morning. Had nowhere to stay. The hotels were all booked, and I'm not kidding. Got kicked out of the hotel room I was in 2 days late for a conference. Oh boy! And so I'm sitting in the airport. It took 12 hours. And Sheamus is a pal, and we keep up. And I saw him in the airport with Drew McIntyre, and I was like, I don't want to be that nerd who goes up because we talked, we've met a few times. And like, I don't want to make it weird. So I just didn't let him. I think I saw him in line, and him and Drew on their plane took a photo to wish me good luck with 12 hours at the airport. Oh, I don't know. I'm saying what kind of guy Drew McIntyre and what kind of guy Sheamus. I would not be surprised if I'm over. I could see Drew McIntyre ending Gunther's streak because that feels right because Gunther is a legitimate challenger for Seth Rollins' title. Yeah. And maybe there's a world where Drew somehow holds that title and Sheamus challenges him. Wacky. I know the bracelet doesn't work, but maybe it's a wacky way he does it so that Sheamus gets to win the one title that's eluded him, right? Like the one belt, maybe the opportunity to be the guy who passes the torch to his friend is an exciting thing. I don't overthink it. It could just as easily be that Drew comes in, he does win the Intercontinental title, but he challenges Seth, right? Like he gets an actual title run in front of fans. Because I don't think a lot of people remember how much he put this company on his back during the Thunderdome era. And
terrible
things. Yeah.
Terrible luck. Just terrible luck. The guy gets minted, and the world stops, and it's in an empty arena. Like, that is just bad luck, Brian, right there.
I do want to say, I know we're going to see past this match, but there's not a whole lot to say, but like, remember the last time Riddle or Gunther had a match? I don't. Like, I think we are so spoiled, and I'll say this in general, and up and down this card, everybody's really awesome. There's no one. Yeah, there's no one back in the ring. And I know people may think of a name, but like, think about the PLEs. There's never any dead weight in the show. Everybody is really good.
Yeah, totally. So, next match, we're gonna keep rolling on here as you drink your Prime that we got a bag for by Logan Paul. Logan Paul paid me personally $250,000. Put that in there. Next match, we had Cody Rhodes versus Dominik Mysterio in an extremely random put-together match. But anytime I get to see Dominik Mysterio come out and do anything, I am happy because he is one of my favorite heels, man. Like, this, just the perfect chicken shit heel. Like, not trying to be cool, not trying to be like, not an edgy CM Punk type heel. He is quintessential chicken shit heel. And it's so funny that he is one of the most over heels, and his dad, Rey Mysterio, was literally never a heel in WWE. And I love the character of him pretending to be a convict, pretending to be hard. I grew up in Woodbridge, a suburb of Toronto, and there was a lot of people like Dominik Mysterio, like just like, yo man, I was just in the bin, just got bailed out of jail. It's like, you drive your dad's Lambo, okay? Like let's calm it down. But I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a good match, good way to showcase Dominik and over Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, it reminds me, that sounds like Scarborough back in the day sometimes too. But like, shout out to us GTA kids. But like, it is Dominik. I mean, by the way, Dominik is a better athlete than I'll ever be because he does what he does. But I will say he is built exactly like the chicken chick. Like, Austin Theory is so yoked that you're kind of like, yeah, dude, but you're that, like, it's just still you see you running around here.
You're a monster, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like Dom is like, I think he is like, he can do. If you watch the Celtic Warrior workout to Sheamus, Dom was on there. He's like, Dom can go, and he can go in the ring. And actually, it makes me think a lot of Randy Orton in like the late aughts, early 2010s, where he was purposely doing things to piss off the audience. He talked about doing longer rest holds, just to like get a crowd booing him. And I think Dom knows what he's doing. He can clearly do all the moves, right? He can do it all in the ring. He's got good instinct. He knows how to carry himself. He's so sure of himself now. It's a blast. And again, Cody Rhodes, he is him, right? Not to steal from Mello, but like the way that crowd sounds every word of King of Tonight, and they you can even tell Cody smiling. He's like, yeah, this is what it is. This is
that
life.
That crowd was that England crowd, man. I cannot believe, like John Cena will talk about him coming out. How did they not ever go there for a pay-per-view? The crowd elevated that pay-per-view to a level that it shouldn't have been. Honestly, like it took it a couple notches above where it was. Like the singing, like the singing in the Roman Reigns match, like that they hate you when they make a song about you. Like they want, like they're saying, bro, if you hate Roman Reigns, sign up. Like what was it like? And they're calling everybody a wanker.
Roman the wanker, which made me just pop because it was like I finally understand what the heck they were saying because
it's always a wanker. Yeah, Ted Lasso was not too fictional on that. Like everybody is a wanker apparently.
Yeah. No, I think this match did what it needed to, especially when Cody tore off the cast, which I think finally makes sense given that he was wrestling like it wasn't an issue. And like
the old Kevin Nash just did the whole
yeah. I wondered if he would go Bob Orton style for a long time, just keep the cat, and that would be a gimmick. But it was and given the SummerSlam ads with Brock, I feel like Monday night. I would expect Brock to be on Raw.
And, I thought he was gonna be there, but
F5 Cody, and then we're off to the races. They get Dump's ring time, got him ring time. I thought again, it made Rhea look mage. It was a good use of both of them, got them some time, and Dom and Cody, there is never a chance of Dom being the face, so it automatically just gets that crowd going. It's amazing.
No way he's ever, they can't, unless he has got to be so established as a heel that they end up liking him, but he is the perfect heel, and he's genuinely hilarious when he's on screen. I've never not he's one of those people, I turn up the volume, like, I gotta sit intently here and watch. We got a big surprise, we got John Cena coming back, keeping the hat on, because he's ashamed of his baldness, or his impending baldness. John Cena just joined the dark side. Just join the dark side. Just do it. Get the Bic and look like this. Come on. No, it's so funny how much the crowds now appreciate John Cena now that he's not being pushed down the throat by WWE. Like, got genuine boos and hate from all these crowds 10 years ago when he was on top. Now anytime he comes out, it reminds me of when The Rock would come back in the mid-aughts and just show up and smile and wave. There's nothing he could do wrong coming out. Great to see.
I think that 2016, when he had the U.S. Open Challenge, I think that's really when everything started changing. We're like, oh, cool, he's gonna make something else awesome, make a bunch of people, and make Kevin Owens when he came up with the NXT title, won that U.S. Championship. And I think I was chatting with us. I shocked how much Steve Johnson makes me happy. Not that I didn't ever like it. It was just it was like the whole Lawless to Christina wins thing was a real feeling. And now when I see him, I'm just really, really happy. Maybe that's Peacemaker, maybe that's other things, but I thought we were ending going for a Grayson Waller feud, which felt more random than anything else. Yeah. But for Grayson Waller getting his moment in there, I'm reminded how much that dude is built like a Greek god, and I can't wait to have a good program for him.
Because they're just circling around. Like, why is he hosting a show every week? And he's not really doing anything there. He's not getting involved in the feud. So I like seeing him go at Cena and actually show off his mic skills. And him telling the crowd when they're calling him Wenka, he's like, I don't need to. That was gold. I was like, I like what you said. And then pitting Australia against England when John Cena was pushing for WrestleMania to beat England, which is 100% going to happen now that they open that Pandora box. John Cena's not just there campaigning on his own to say WrestleMania in England. They're going to say no.